for gear that's good as swell, that's clean. Join Tim and
Luke Brbot.
in between the sets, between the sets.
Hello and welcome to the Bodysurf podcast with your budgie boys, Tim with a very special co-host. Now, I feel like you're the permanent guest host of the Bodysurf podcast. This is your second time with us.
No, happy to be here.
And you're filling in for Owie. We've had some technical issues. He's moved to the Central Coast, as you know, and it's just hard getting a good line down and or up to the Central Coast. So he's had to pull out very late notice this week. So thanks for subbing in.
No, pleasure.
It's been a big week, not only for body surfing, but for sport here in Australia. The race that stops the nation was yesterday, and that's why we've dressed up to have a bit of a Melbourne Cup after party here on the Bodysurf podcast. Did you catch the race, Luke?
Mate, I'm not going to lie. I did not see a single horse yesterday. I was stuck on a proposal and I just couldn't get around to it.
So it's not really the race that stops the nation for you?
No,
I guess
absolutely not.
The Finn Sprint, I think, is more of the race.
Well, that's for me. That's the one that stops the nation. I'll put the proposal in the toilet and watch that.
Exactly right. But we will later cross to Owie, who's done an amazing call of the Master Bait Boy Cup. This is an annual event we have where we assign a gate to Bait Bay. Obviously, you guys are gate 22.
Oh, not a chance. It'll be gate 8, brother.
You're gate 8. The Budgie Boys are gate 22. So we assign those horses, and then whoever wins, is the Master Bait Cup champion for the year. And it was another very close race this year, so it will be exciting to listen to that call very soon. But I guess we should start the show talking a little bit about body surfing. Now, Luke, as a proud member of the Bait Bay Body Bashers here in Cronulla, I've been a bit disappointed with your presence lately. I haven't seen much of you around.
No, fair comment. The thing with the Bait Bay Body Bashers is we are an organisation, yes, listed under body surfing, but we can also do other things as well.
Right.
So during lockdown, we've had a lot of our members take up ocean swimming, in particular going around Shark Island. We are known as the fittest body surfing club in Cronulla by far, with the merger club of the Knob Suckers, which is the what is it? The club merged between Suck Rock and Big Man's Knob.
Okay.
And they've joined together to become the Knob Suckers.
Right.
And so they're coming in second, and the Budgie Boys are at 3 when it comes to the fitness stakes.
And there's also the all year round body surfers.
Yes.
Their average age is probably around 80.
And not to be forgotten, the all seasons body surfing club.
Well, sorry,
all seasons, yes. And so they've got all sorts of business happening. So we have had plenty of boys and girls in the water.
Nice.
But it hasn't been on the Wamping.
Right.
But in saying that, we're on the way back.
Yes.
When the swell comes, the Bait Bay Body Bashers answers. So we'll be in the water very, very soon. And we've got some nice little announcements to make.
Are you just avoiding wetsuit season? Is that what's happening?
Well, a majority of our members go going without rubber. And we pride ourselves on that. And so as a result, we've been going, doing our swims in Speedos, in our budgies.
Wow.
Supplied by Keel, a great sponsor of the Bait Bay Body Bashers. And we've just become accustomed to it. So we are year round. We're not really concerned about the rubber.
Right. Yeah, I know. We're called the Budgie Boys, but you'll find us in a wetsuit most of the time. So I don't know if we might have to change our name to the Rubber Boys. But yeah, we've been getting in the water. Matthew Bond, who's a fan favourite of the Bodysurf podcast, has been making the trek to Cronulla from the Western Sydney, and he's been loving it. He's driven here twice each Saturday for the last 2 weeks and hasn't gotten in the water, I don't think.
Right.
He said it was too big last week. It was about maybe 3 foot.
I remember. It wasn't that big.
But he got in for a little swim. I think Uga actually coached him in because he wasn't going to do it, but he did get wet, I think. So that's all that matters most of the time. But we've been having fun, and we've been been trying out. I've been, I think in lockdown I'm just hitting the online shopping every day.
Yep.
And I've been actually investing in a few hand planes here and there. So I've been going out just testing them, trying to get used to them, because I'm normally just an old naturel kind of guy. I don't go out with a plane, but I've been enjoying trying out some things. And I tell you what, last week's guest, Trey Surfco.
Wasn't that something else?
What a great show. And, he was an amazing guest, and it was great to catch up with him all the way from California. But, geez, these things actually go really good. I know a lot of people are looking at it going, it's just a tray. This must be some sort of sick joke. But these things are amazing. And I don't know if you've heard, but our executive producer, Woofo, is actually now an official Trey Surfco team member.
Wow.
So he's sponsored. One of the Budgie Boys is actually a sponsored rider.
So he rides with Trey.
He rides with Trey. And
wow.
We've got a big parcel on its way, so I can't wait to get into some more gear, because they call it the fry tray. This thing's about half the size of a regular tray.
Right.
And they, Matt from Trey says just mix it up, see what you like. But these things look like they can really go, especially if there's a bit of a shory cranking. So I'm looking forward to getting on the Trey Surfco bandwagon now.
Well, you can always, with the tray as well, important to note that also gets used on the sand dunes and Cronulla. So if there is no swell, you can always practice your craft on land.
Yeah, right.
And go for a bit of a...
Now, how would you do that? Just slide down?
You slide down. That's all you do. I've seen it done before, and it's quite outrageous. In particular, I actually saw someone go double tray on each hand. Typical, I think, what's... the ESBS guy. What's his name?
The Flying Dutchman.
The Dutchman, yeah. I think in Wompoff 2019.
Yep. Our last Wompoff.
When he went the double.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it done on sand too. So it's very versatile, the tray.
I was very surprised how well he rode with two hand planes. Then he rode with some very big boys.
Yeah.
And he just went down the face of that wave like it was no one's business. I was very impressed with that. And I hope the judges saw that. I hope that scored well, because that's what we need, creativity.
We do, yeah, absolutely. It is a creative game. It's like watching art in the water.
That's right. And, it must be hard to judge, but I hope things like that get up there. So, yeah, thanks very much, Matt from Trey Surfco, for last week's interview. Now, if you're a member of the Bodysurf podcast Patreon, you got access very early to that interview. And we just whacked it up without an edit. And there was some nice little things that the regular listener might have missed. So I'm just going to play a quick clip of what happened at the start of our interview with Matt from Trey Surfco.
I remember my first podcast. This is it. I remember it right now. This is it.
So that was Matty giving us a bit of stick because we weren't very professional setting up the gear, and we had, technical issues as we always do.
Professional? He uses a tray.
That's
Pot,
right.
kettle, black.
But it was a lot of fun chatting with him, and we've been going really hard on our American guests lately, and I'm very excited to announce next week's guest is a New Zealander. So we'll be heading across the ditch to chat with the one and only Alan Rath, also known as Womp Dad. Now, Womp Dad has been a really big supporter of the podcast for a very long time, and he's actually provided us with most of our artwork, and he did this completely for free. Now, he's a professional artist. He does this for a crust, and oh my goodness, I was so stoked when he did this work. I've actually got it all around the house. He sent me some lovely prints. He sent me, he actually did a portrait of me on a war hand plane that I have in the office. And it's, it's a one of a kind. It's an amazing artwork. I'm not sure if it's going to go up in value, but it's a really, really special piece. I love it. And we will finally be chatting to Womp Dad next week on the Bodysurf podcast. But let's get back to Bait Bay, Luke. I guess that's why you're here to talk about the club. Now, Ricky from War Hand Planes, who is also the organiser of the biggest Australian body surfing competition, I think. Definitely
by far.
The most participants at that event, Wompoff. Now, as you mentioned, 2019 was the last time we competed as teams against one another. Are you excited that he has announced that it's back for 2022 next year. It's gonna be going.
We're so excited. We, winning starts now for us. We have, 160 members to pick from at the moment.
Wow.
Right, we're going to have to probably do the usual and help out the other teams like we normally do in order to grow the sport. Yeah, that's fine. And we've got no issue doing that. It's really, really exciting. It's a beautiful day. It's a great event afterwards. Everyone gets to enjoy each other's company, but on top of that, you get to see some real high-quality body surfing. And it's just a win-win. It's going to be great for the sport.
It must be so tough selecting the 10 that you're going to play. Now, this was a new rule that came in. I think the few times you competed before 2019, you had a huge team.
Yeah.
And it got a bit tricky, in those team events. So doing the 10, it probably affects you the most. So
big time.
How do you judge performance? How do you pick your team?
I think you want people that put into the club and put into the sport. So they may not be the best technical body surfers or the best skill-wise, but for us, it's about involving people that want to give back to it and give back to the community. So, for example, if we're going to have to pick between, someone who's really, really good but's only been to a couple of meetups, doesn't really turn up to social events, an example, we have a blood bank that we run as well, the BBBBB, which I'd like to thank you for donating as well. Things like that. We want good people on our team.
Right. And
as a result of that, winning will come really second there. We just want maximum involvement and reward for the people who give most to the club.
So it's a bit like, with soccer training, if you don't turn up to training, if you don't collect the balls and put them away after, if you don't, give back to your club, you're not getting a run on Saturday.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's good. I like that because, we're getting a few more members with the Budgie Boys. We probably haven't hit 10 yet, but we might start thinking about who we're going to include and if we're going to try and draft a few players our way, probably from Bait Bay or some other clubs. And it's those sort of decisions are great. Sort of, who's coming to Saturday meets? And I'll tell you what, our captain, Matthew O'Donnell, hasn't been to a meet for a long time. Now, he has moved to the Central Coast, so it is tricky.
You can set up a satellite club, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no wrong issue there. Well, we have a satellite club in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
We have a satellite club in Argentina, and we have a satellite club in Norway.
Wow.
So it's very doable. He just needs to get a couple of boys and girls along with him, and he can still run the Budgie Boys or the Budgie People from the Central Coast.
The Bait Bay Body Bashers are like the Hillsong of the body surfing community. You just got churches everywhere. That's really cool. That's really insightful, Luke. Now, Uga, who we know runs Keel Down Under, and is a proud member of the Bait Bay Body Bashers. He around this time when the Wompoff is starting to ramp up, I feel like he starts campaigning for a spot on the team, and he went very hard, I think, in 2019, and he secured a spot, and
rightly so.
He was actually one of the I guess he was going in some of the individual events. Do you think Uga's getting a run 2022?
Look, if you put it down to consistency, very good. Performance, he actually in 2019 was the highest ranked Bait Bay body basher in the world, right? Right. So he'd put a number on Luke Brbot, he'd put a number on Matt Schweighofer, and as a result, absolutely deserves his spot. And I think unless he does something astronomically bad, he will hold his spot for this year.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he had a podium finish at Slidefest a few years ago. That puts him on the map for sure. And when we were out on the weekend, we were having a little swimmy, having a surf, and a screamer of a wave came through, and Uga was just perfect spot, got this wave, and I think he called it a day after that. He said, that's it for me, and he left us. He loved us and left us, but he got a very nice wave, and I guess if he can do that sort of stuff for you on the day, that's going to get you closer to taking out another title.
I think as well, from a tactics point of view, not giving too much away, the Bait Bay Body Bashers need swell. We need swell.
Interesting.
Because we've got some absolute bombs on our team when it comes to big swell. Because Uga, Corey, Nick, Shui, there's some guys that the bigger it is, the bigger balls they get, and they'll have a crack. So we really need swell.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I always think the Budgie Boys are kind of a big wave team, but that's because we've got a few bigger boys as well who just love some big stuff. And Owie as well is an absolute charger. But then look at some of the other teams, like East have Ricky, who just can go monsters all day, every day. So I guess each team have some guys that can do some big things. Normally in the past, it's been small, so you've needed guys who can pull out some spins and some front flips and some little trickies here and there.
Take their cozies off.
Exactly.
Mid-wave.
Do the old streaker. But
That's the one.
I wonder if that does all right on the day, because it's technically an illegal move. I don't think you're allowed to get your kid off at the beach.
But who's to say he wasn't wearing a second cozie?
Oh, he's a trickster. That's some good gear. Okay, so Uga is looking good, but I tell you, Uga had a bit of a doozy on Melbourne Cup Day. I don't know if you heard about this. Now, we mentioned we do the Master Bait Boy Cup, and we had in Gate 22, Johnny Get Angry. So that was, looking all right. And then Gate 8, Cariff. But
Jeez, it's got good odds.
Yeah,
$201.
$201.
Holy dooly.
And Johnny Get Angry coming out of Gate 22, 81 to 1. So, but what Uga did, he didn't bet on the gate. He bet on the horse number. So he bet on horse number 8, which was Ocean Billy. And it was actually jumping out of Gate 6. So he wasn't representing.
That's the all seasons gate.
Yes.
Actually, Gate 6, no, the Gate 6 would be the dog beach.
Yes. Which is only available at certain times of the afternoon. Yeah. So, Uga wrote on Instagram, because we bleed Gate 8, but he was actually on Gate 6. And this thing he bet on, Ocean Billy, came dead last. Now, I know a lot of people that listen to the podcast say Nup to the Cup, and that horse, I'm telling you now, probably got a bullet in the head yesterday, because it did not run well. And so, Well,
it won something. It won the wooden spoon.
I wonder if you can bet on a horse to lose. I feel like that would be, people would just take that for granted and absolutely rot the system.
Oh, absolutely you would. Yeah, I don't think horse racing's the cleanest of sports, personally. So
I do apologise for those people who posted Nup to the Cup who have to listen to this episode of the podcast, and we're going to bang on a bit more about horse racing. But we've got some mad punters who listen to the podcast. Now, I did a legit call of the race, so we'll listen to that first, and then we'll listen to Owie's call, who's just going to focus on Gate 22 and Gate 8. So here's my call. At the top of the straight, 400 metres to go, a length and a half, Floating Artist. Here's Very Elegant, she's coming in hot. 300 metres to go, the Mighty Man moves up to Incentivise and races on by. Then Floating Artist, Spanish Mission, but Very Elegant at the 150. The darling of the turf has done it. Very Elegant has brought it home and has won the Melbourne Cup. So that was my impression of a race caller who backed the favourite, because Very Elegant, who won it, just absolutely rode in hot, and it was actually a really good race to watch. I get really nervous watching Melbourne Cup. It's a very long race, so I'm used to the dish lickers. I like a quick greyhound race, but I get very nervous watching the Melbourne Cup, and that was actually a really good one to watch. Should we have a listen to
Let's roll it.
The Bait Bay, what is it called? Sorry, the Master Bait Boy Cup. All right, I'm nervous about this one.
Oh no.
There's a lot riding on it.
Oh no.
Can the Bait Bay Body Bashers go consecutive years back to back? Let's have a listen to Owie's call.
For the Melbourne Cup. Ready to go.
And they head for the judge. Cariff in the pack for the Bait Bay Body Bashers lead the Budgie Boys. Johnny Get Angry, who is stone motherless. Hughesy will be losing it tonight if they can't turn this around fast. Up front, Incentivise tackled by Very Elegant. Scenes reminiscent of Belly Slater running in DMC repellers. Cariff losing ground. Could the Budgie Boys do it yet? Johnny Gets Angry, but does he have a turn of foot? It's like pre-season at the Wanda Sand Dunes out there. A real dour affair. Cariff Just holding on. Johnny Get Angry breezes past Ocean Billy and looks to have smoked some on the way past because all momentum is lost. Bait Bay cruise in to win back-to-back cups. Cariff first. Johnny Get Angry a distant second, and Belly Slater sadly scratched on race day for the use of performance-enhancing fins.
So there we do. The Bait Bay Body Bashers out of gate 8 with Cariff.
Let's go.
Now, I need to remind our listeners, it didn't win.
I just beat you, blokes.
It just beat us. It ran a pretty shocking race. So well done.
You can only beat your opposition, mate.
That's right. Well done to Owie for making that call exciting because both of those horses did not run very well. Gate 22, Johnny Get Angry. It'd be amazing one year if we got the favourites, like if we actually had a chance.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Winning.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years we've done this, we've had some roughies, which, you know, if you're a fan of the Melbourne Cup, you know a roughie can do it on the day. It's a very unique race. And this year with COVID, there weren't as many internationals, so it was a bit of an interesting race. But, you know, the Budgie boys could not do it on the day, and either could Uga with his shocking bet of whatever that thing was. What was it called? Ocean Billy.
Ocean Billy. R.I.P. Ocean Billy.
Oh, Ocean Billy. Yeah. Anyways, Uga, if you're listening, better luck next time. I thought Uga hated the punt. He went away with Cute Boy Corey and Owie, I think, to the farm, to Mystics, down the coast. And they went out for dinner, and Corey and Owie were just in the tab all night. And Uga was going, come on, guys, like, let's talk. Let's, go do something fun. And the boys wanted nothing to do with him. They just wanted to bet all night long. So
He could be a social punter. You get a lot of people come out on the woodwork on the big race days and really want to say what they've got to say.
Well, I guess if Wompoff 2022 is happening, we'll have to do the odds for that again.
You'd love to see the odds, wouldn't you? It'd be great.
The same team has come third every year. So what are they paying? Around $6?
Third time lucky, surely. I don't know.
And a huge question for you, Luke. Are the Finn going to be able to get here? International travel's still not really happening.
It could be an all-local affair.
Which
And Mark McGowan may still close WA as well.
Right.
That's closed forever.
Yeah, well, as long as the Goldie Sliders can get here, I'll be happy because it's always really fun going up against them. We kind of consider them our sister club, and they've always been so nice and accommodating to us. They're a really fun bunch of people, and as long as they can get here, I think we can get because people are already talking about going to Queensland soon to compete in Coolum. So,
mate, everyone's just stinging to get out and about, so it makes a lot of sense. Put on a competition, people will turn up.
That's right, and hopefully, Wompoff 2022. It's still a while away, so anything can happen. And if we can get an amazing turnout, it's going to be good gear. But if the Finn's not there, and the Cobras, one of my favourite clubs, the Cobras, from up north, if they take out first position, which I assume they will because they're such a good team, does it really count? DeFin weren't there to defend their title.
Yeah, but so DeFin will remain lineal Wompoff champions because they never lost the title. That's a way of looking at it. But then you also need to be in it to win it. So I think as an organiser, I think you can only judge it on the present and maybe they need the Hawaiian ambassador to write to Australia and seek safe passage. I don't know. But look, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Or they put an Australian team together. They've got Cute Boy Corey. They've got Tom Maher. They can maybe sponsor a few more. I know Matthew Bond's looking for a sponsorship, and he loves the Mark Cunningham scoop DeFins that melted in his car. So they could put an Australian DeFin team together. They aren't Hawaii. They are DeFin. So,
but you look at DeFin as well. They need that leadership of Cunno.
Yeah,
sure. It'd be like watching a snake with its head chopped off. Just going around everywhere. I think he's a real steadying influence for that team.
He's such a mentor to those boys. And does he like being called Cunno?
I don't think he's ever been called Cunno.
I wouldn't be calling him Cunno. I don't think you would like that. But that's a get that we would love to do. And because we're doing a bit of stuff on the Zoom, I think it's our time to strike and get an interview.
100%.
With the one and only Mark Cunningham. He's gonna have some stories to tell, and every time I bump into a body surfer, they always have a story to tell about Martin Cunningham. Everyone knows him and knows about what he has done for the sport.
Everyone, not even the sport, the whole water sport element. Everyone that meets him, hangs out with him, is of the highest regard when it comes to talking to him. So, yeah, to get him on the podcast, I think for you guys, that'd be sensational.
Absolutely. So, Woofo, our executive producers, is probably writing an email as we speak, trying to get in touch with him because he's got an interesting Instagram. I think he shares it with his partner.
Yes.
So he's got 1 million followers, but he just posts pictures of family dinner. He seems like a very chill guy.
Very chilled.
So we'll work out the time difference and try and get an interview, an exclusive interview. Although I think he has done a few other podcasts in his day.
Maybe we can look at Hairy Man maybe sending over a bit of a care pack.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, we're looking at getting some Bodysurf podcast merch, not only to sell, but to give to our Patreon members. And maybe we can put a few beers and a T-shirt and
That'd be great.
a face mask and all that sort of stuff. So I think he's a pretty generous guy, and we'll just
no
do
doubt.
the interview.
No doubt. He's a servant of the sport.
Exactly.
He's very, very good.
But I'll tell you what, whenever I'm swimming, not only do people bring up Mark Cunningham, the other thing people ask me are you a bay body basher? Everyone knows you. Now, is it because of you're pretty big on the Instagram? You've got good merch. I see you're wearing the socks and you've got the keels and that. I guess you guys are, the club of the people for Cronulla. You've definitely put body surfing on the map for our local area. Are you accepting membership? You said you got
Absolutely.
160.
Yeah, 160 members at the moment. We're always accepting members. So when the next meetup is on, all it takes is to turn up once. Once you turn up, you're eligible for any merchandise you would like. And we have a outrageous selection of merchandise. On top of that, you get given a nickname, and then you get an invite to all the events that we put on as well. So it's a real easy sell for us.
I love that you're given a nickname because you can't make up your own nickname. You have to be given it. Otherwise, it's not a true nickname. So,
well, the question always is, hey, we need to give you a nickname. And then they go, oh, my mates call me Simo. And you go, well, you're not going to be called Simo. So you can't nominate your nickname.
What's your brother Nick's? He's got a seedy nickname.
No. He's the tugboat.
Tugboat.
And
okay.
The reason he's the tugboat is because he's such a big body, and in water polo circles, people could grab onto him, and because he's so strong, he could just pull through the water really easy.
There's a lot of tugging in water polo.
Yeah, and then you get into the pool.
Did you watch any of the Olympics?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah, I got around it. It's the first time I've watched traditional terrestrial broadcast television. I'm a big fan of the streaming services, but I actually got on the Channel 7 and watched mainly water polo and hockey, but loved some of the water polo, and it was great to see Uga's sister.
Yeah, Lena.
And her father was the coach as well. So that was incredible to see some locals there on the world stage.
Proud moment for us. I mean, the Mihailovics came to this country 10 years ago with Cronulla water polo, and to see father and daughter standing at the top. It was a very, very proud moment for our community.
Maybe we'll get Lena on the podcast, and then we can say we've had an Olympian on the podcast.
That'd be very impressive. She's a good wampa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or wampet.
I don't see a lot of her in the surf, but I've heard she goes all right.
Well, being a good swimmer is a good start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has that endurance, and sometimes you can just power yourself onto a wave with good swimming ability.
Oh, for sure. And with Uga getting all his endorsement deals, he's got all the gear that he's just...
That's it.
He's always riding some new DMC handboard. I don't know how he does it, but I think it's just those Instagram deals.
Yeah.
We need to try and get some of that, although Wolfo's got the tray now, so that's looking pretty nice for us. Now, Luke.
Yes.
The last time your brother Nick was on the podcast, he did something very special for us. He did a live read for Porto chicken burgers.
Right.
Now, Porto didn't ask us to do this. We just heard Nick liked Porto chicken burgers. So
I think Big Boy Brbot was the discount code.
I wonder if anyone tried to.
Yes, they did.
Really?
Yes, they did. And Porto wrote to Nick going, "What's going on?"
Nick did not tell us that. I feel so bad. That's hilarious. I hope he didn't get in any trouble.
Nah, he got more chicken, I think.
Oh, good. All publicity is good publicity.
That's
so,
it.
Yeah, we thought we might see how you, because Nick was very good, very professional with the live read. Now, I was wondering, we've actually got a little sponsor here on the podcast. I don't know if you heard, Steady Freddy, which, you'll get a bit of an idea what they do. Would you like to give, now it says Tim and Oe, just read the whole thing and we'll compare it to Nick's live radio read.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Aren't you first?
You just do the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing, right. The Bodysurf podcast is proudly sponsored by Steady Freddy. Steady Freddy. Do more in the bedroom with Steady Freddy, a spray designed to give you a more fulfilling love life. G'day, it's your new delay spray. Spray on, play on. Formulated by a medical doctor, Steady Freddy has fast and discreet delivery, express posted. It will come fast, but you won't. And it has a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. Make the good times last. Steady Freddy Control Spray fits right in your pocket, so you're always ready to go. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Make your slonger last longer. And Steady Freddy are giving Bodysurf podcast listeners $10 off their control spray and a free 3-pack of ultra-thin condoms when you use promotional code BODYSURF. 100% of Steady Freddy reviewers would recommend this product to a friend. So what are you waiting for? Go to steadyfreddy.com and try it today. Check out steadyfreddy.com and get $10 off and a free 3-pack of ultra-thin condoms when you use the promotional code BODYSURF. Steady Freddy is a sponsor of the Bodysurf podcast. Check out steadyfreddy.com and grab some good gear today. You.
That was very good. The 3 free pack of condoms gets me every time. And I wrote the thing. I could have made it easier, but I made it very hard for myself. But you handled that like a pro. Well done. Thanks for doing that.
No problem.
We have to give a big shout out to Slide Handboards in America. They did a little Instagram post, well, a big Instagram post of the top surf podcasts. Now, this wasn't just Bodysurf podcast, because I believe we're the only Bodysurf podcast, but we got the #1 spot.
Well done.
Which was, a surprise to us, because we've actually been up for some awards here in Australia, and we get snubbed every time. So to get recognised by one of the biggest and best handboard companies in the world was just amazing. So thank you very much for that. It was really cool to see that, and we got hopefully we got a few new listeners out of that, because Slide have a huge following, and we'll have to get the guys from Slide on very, very soon. Do you know the story behind Slide?
Is that the one that Ashton Kutcher is part of?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So they went on Shark Tank. I think it's called Shark Tank.
It is Shark Tank. Yeah.
It might be called something else in America, or Dungeon's Den or something like that
Right.
in England. But they went on Shark Tank, and then they pitched the idea. And Ashton Kutcher was on the panel for some reason. He was like a guest Shark Tanker. And he goes, "Hey, I'm from the Midwest. I've never been in the water. I don't know anything about this. But if you guys know what you're talking about, I'm keen to invest." And he invested a bit of his own cash. Ashton Kutcher actually, because he's doing quite well for himself as a Hollywood actor, he invests in startups. They're normally tech startups, but he decided to invest in Slide, and it would be great if we could get Ashton Kutcher on the podcast.
Wouldn't that be something else?
I don't think he's much of a body surfer, which is unusual.
I reckon Mark Cunningham would know Ashton Kutcher.
Well, Ashton would live, I'm guessing, in LA.
It'd be like Malibu or something.
The 212.
Yeah.
But surely he's been in the water. And he actually was in a film, I think it was called The Guardian. I might be wrong. Where he played like a lifesaver where he became like a Navy SEAL or something. And
So he's got plenty of water experience. We get him in.
There's a scene where he jumps out of a helicopter into a really rough ocean, and it's pretty amazing, this film. So surely there's enough connections there to try and get Ashton Kutcher.
I think so.
And a lot of people complain about Owie and I doing shit movie chat, but if we had Ashton Kutcher on, I think we would be able to.
I'll tell you what, it'd lift your female listening audience, wouldn't it?
Yes. What do you mean? I thought they tuned in for us.
Sorry. Cat's out of the bag.
But thank you, Slide. That was really, really nice of you guys. I honestly don't think we are the number one surf podcast, but to get your recognition
It's
meant
the people's vote.
We're definitely the number one body surfing podcast.
100%.
And Owie's said this a lot. If anyone else wants to start a body surf podcast, have a crack, have a go. We're all up for it. We've even thought about getting some guest hosts to come on and fill in for Owie and I. We were going to maybe tee you up with your brother.
Yep.
We were thinking of getting Ricky on with Belly Slater. If you've got some suggestions, I would like to maybe get Hamish from the Goldie Sliders to maybe do it with Simon Sven, who's got some great opinions.
Here's the thought. Why don't you get Uga to do it in Serbian? And then you have a multilingual reach when it comes to a podcast.
That would be good.
So you'll hit Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia, right? They'll all understand.
Idea. Yeah. Well, we actually get the stats back sometimes, and most of our listeners are from Australia, America, New Zealand.
Only because they speak English.
A little following from the UK, but you're right. It's mainly English speaking, and we barely speak English, but they still tune in. So maybe we've got to start thinking about going bilingual. We've been asked to do an interview in Brazilian. So that
Portuguese.
Yeah, we were going to get translated, but that's the only time someone who
and think of your big markets as well. You know, there's a couple of billion Chinese. If you can hit 0.01% of the Chinese, get a couple of Mandarin speaking body surf podcast.
Yeah. Well, I would love to maybe hit up North Korea. Kim Jong Un is the supreme body surf champion of the world.
Keen body surfer. Yep.
He's won Wompoff every year. He's competed in it. He's the NBA champion. He's the cricket champion. He
hits like 16 holes in one in a game of golf. Yeah.
So he must shred in the surf. So yeah, we need to diversify and get ourselves out there a bit more. But for now, we're coming into your living rooms or your cars or however you listen to the podcast in pretty sloppy English. So apologies for that. And maybe Uga will get us some international cred. That could be very, very cool. All right, Lukey, thank you very much for filling in for Owie. You're the Jay Leno of the Body Surf podcast. I don't know if anyone will get that
massive
reference.
Head.
Jay Leno was the permanent guest host for Johnny Carson in the 80s and 90s, and that's how he got the job. David Letterman really wanted that job, and Leno snuck in and got it. So you can be the Jay Leno of the Body Surf podcast.
Happy to help.
And you can fill in any time we're unwell or if we can't get Owie's microphone working or whatever's going on with Owie, I'm sure he'll sort it out soon. Hopefully in time for our chat with Alan Rath, the Womp Dad, that is coming up next week. And if you haven't purchased anything from Womp Dad, maybe hold off until the podcast, because I reckon he'll have some deals going for Body Surf podcast listeners. But anywho, Lukey, thank you very much for that. We got to get out of here. Do it all again real soon. Would you like to do the sign off?
It's always overhead when you're body surfing.
You. Bye-bye.